Here we go.
Well, hello there. How is everyone? I hope you're well. You're amazing, beautiful, wonderful people. It's Monday, baby. It's Monday. Just another manic Monday. Who sang that? Can't remember. Some lady. Can't remember. Anyway, so we get straight into the meat and potatoes. As we are talking, you're looking absolutely amazing, by the way. You must have had a good weekend. Let me know down below all about it. Yeah, so look, we are talking about, because a load of people have reached out to me over the weekend because of a video, well, two videos really. We've got Sebastian Soto, who done about this Brian Pereira, whatever his fucking name is, who he's apparently now started to delete all of his social media, leaving some cryptic book reference, and who knows. All I know is that guy is full of shit. All I know is he's full of shit. I don't understand for the life of me why law enforcement allows him to continue talking and doing interviews when he's supposed to be the suspect in the supplying of narcotics that would lead to the death of an individual. Look, Spider Boy, who are we to question how the legal system operates in different countries? I'm going to be doing that later in a video covering the Idaho 4 debacle. So I had an interesting conversation yesterday with one of my moderators. Hello, Dope. And yeah, but anyway, stick a pin in that. So yeah, and not only that, but also Brian Harvey. Brian Harvey had done a very, very interesting video, or two videos, and it was talking about the connections between the hotel, the Casa Sur. Apparently there's multiple sort of Casa restaurants, and they're owned by quite a powerful, rich, wealthy family who there's a lot of symbolism within the things that they do, and we see this, do you know what I mean? We do see it when there's rich and wealthy people, that sometimes in the things that they do there is nods and nudges to the things that got them there, got them in power in the first place. And look, I thought to myself, is there any truth and accuracy? Because a few people had reached out and said, how do you feel about it? This is obviously dodgy. Now, what I will say is I've got no doubt in my mind that a lot of wealthy people are sketchy. Do you know what I mean? A lot of wealthy people are sketchy. Seldom do people get ultra wealthy without stepping on someone in order to get there. Do you know what I mean? I know somebody who used to say crime doesn't pay, but it certainly helps. I think they actually had that tattooed on them. But with respect of how does this fit into the Liam Payne narrative? How does it fit in? How does this, if you want to go down the route of wealthy symbolisms and all this, and the Maya Henry, the Azteca being the girlfriend of the father, I believe, and all of these slight nudges to kind of archaic history that, you know, power and wealth and knowledge and all this. And I thought to myself, look, if I step back, Shadrach, and look at the Liam Payne case, and I'm like, what do I truly think happened there? What do I think is the most likely scenario here? And this is just my opinion, right? My opinion based on what we know so far. And as new information comes out, I uphold the right to change my mind, change my opinion. But as we're looking at it right now, this looks to be, in my opinion, like a long con. A long con. And I'll tell you why I feel that way, right? Because in Liam Payne's life, you've got an ex-girlfriend from an ultra-rich family, who is seemingly a woman scorned. She's released a book, and perhaps that book ain't done that well. That hasn't done as well as what she'd hoped it to do. I've certainly seen a lot of reviews, and the reviews they're a mixed bag. But certainly in the death, or the aftermath of the death of Liam Payne, sales of that book and interest in that book was ramped up. And a lot of people said, you have to look at who benefits from the death of an individual. But I think it goes further back than that, because if you want to look down the route of nefarious activity and sort of an angled situation, yes, we have situations like the death clause in the music industry, but does this truly look like a situation that could have been orchestrated by the music industry? Now, there are clues in this that lead you to believe that it's a possibility, that it's an external party and nothing to do with the powerful people who perhaps owns the Casa Sur. And I'll tell you what that is. The fact that this image was released. The image that shows Liam Payne being seemingly carried through this hotel. Because I think to myself, if the hotel itself had anything to do with this, anything whatsoever, then why release any footage? Why would they release anything? Why wouldn't they just shut the cameras down and dump all the footage and get rid of it? Absolutely get rid of it. And if these are powerful people who are, in Argentina and people knows them and, there would be no reason to release footage that absolutely brings them hugely under the spotlight. Because it does. Make no bones about it. The whole fucking world saw that picture and not one person, I don't think, looked at it and thought, well, that's all right. I said yesterday, it looked like you got a situation where the hotel is saying that he was acting in a specific way. Acting in a specific way, and they are having to take him back to his room, whatever, because he's kicking off, he's being aggressive, yada, yada, yada. And they then released footage that looks like they're going to give him the fucking bumps. That paints a hotel in a bad light. But where we come from this from an angle of what we expect. When we go to hotels, what do we expect if we go to a hotel in the UK or in the United States and a patron of that? I don't get it, because we look at it from that perspective. We don't look at it from how do we expect or what do we think hotels in Argentina are going to behave. We look at, a lot of people turn around and say, well, that isn't a 4-star or a 5-star hotel. That's not an upmarket hotel. But your comparison, what you're comparing that to is your perception of what a 5-star or a 4-star or an upmarket hotel looks like where you come from. And we're dealing with a very, very different country. We're dealing with somewhere that is not the US. It isn't the UK. We're not talking about a Hilton or something like that in London, or a Four Seasons or some of these real high-end hotels. We're not looking at those. We're looking at a hotel in Argentina in an area that is known for narcotics. And look, I suppose my point being here is this case around Liam Payne stinks of a long con. The hotel situation, it fractures when you have a contradiction between what the hotel are saying and Rogelio Norris saying. Because the hotel, in one breath, are saying, look, he was fucking acting up. He was a mess. He was aggressive. He was doing this. He was doing that. And we took him back to his room, or he was taken back to his room, whatever. And then you've got Rogelio Norris who comes out and says, no, he was fine. I can't see anything like this happening. And there was about 15 people in the lobby with him, which directly contradicts what the hotel says. And lo and behold, then the hotel releases this bit of footage. Because I believe that the powers that be in that have probably turned around and said, no, fuck this. This guy has turned around and said that Liam Payne was fine when he left, which was about 40 minutes before this fall, when we know that he's fucking lying. So release the footage, give him the footage and show what was going on. And if that's the case, then you have to then consider that the hotel are trying to cover their ass. Yes, it paints them in a bad light because they're dealing with things in this specific way, but is that as alien to this area, and does it come with the same issues as what it would if that was a hotel in London, say, or in New York? Because it probably doesn't. In the eyes of the law, the hotel are probably going to turn around and say, this guy was aggressive, he was under the influence, he was placing the hotel and potentially other people at risk, and we took him out of the equation and put him in a room, and then we contacted for medical assistance and said, you need to come here. We've got someone who's out of control. We've put him in a room. We're concerned about him in this room because it is an upper floor. There is a balcony there, and you need to come as quickly as possible. It's feasible. I'm not saying it's 100% accurate, but what I'm saying is you have to look at what is the bit that stands out. What is the oddment? And again, I can't stress enough, the fracture comes with Rogelio Norris completely contradicting what the hotel have said, but he hasn't given any proof or evidence. In fact, the only proof or evidence that we've been shown is a photograph supplied by the hotel, which I believe is off the back end of them trying to make Rogelio Norris look wrong. What is you doing? Look who I've got. I've got Snowball. Hello, mate. It's not Snowball, isn't it? Her name's not Snowball. What's your name? River, isn't it? Do you want to go for a walk? Crawling over all of the Christmas stuff. Where was I before I was rudely interrupted by the cute Snowball cat? Yeah, so it's like you're at loggerheads with Rogelio Norris saying one thing, the hotel saying something that completely contradicts. But the difference is, at this stage, the hotel have shown a piece of evidence. So Rogelio Norris is trying to say, I didn't supply nothing, I didn't do nothing, I didn't do anything, and he was fine. And that seemingly is false. Now, when we track back and we think to ourselves, and I said this yesterday, I said, if Liam Payne loved Kate, right, if he loved her, and they were planning on getting married, then why on earth would he look to obtain narcotics to destroy the potential future that he had with her so close? Like running to, I said before, didn't I? It's like running a race. Imagine Usain Bolt coming up for a world fucking record, gets about 10 feet from the finish line and fucking face plants himself into the floor on purpose. Like, I can't see that. And not only that, but he then spends some intimate time with Brian. I ain't buying that either. I can't buy that. And then, if that's not enough, he then gets some ladies, some special ladies, what we said yesterday. Special ladies. So he has gone fucking all out carnage. All out carnage. And we're not talking about just a normal person. We're talking about a globally recognised star. Globally recognised star. Who's already had one fucking female do a book that is clearly about him. Clearly about him. Do you know what I mean? And we got arguments, apparent arguments, where people are saying that he's talking to these women and so that could have been an argument with him saying, I didn't fucking order you. I didn't ask you to come here. Nothing to do with me. I don't even know why you're here. All it takes is for someone to be ejected into this equation to post or paint a specific narrative and say, yeah, he was talking to him, saying that he could pay him. Giving up Billy Big Balls, I got 50 odd million. How would that do you know what I mean? Who knows all this sort of stuff? Rogelio Norris would have likely known how much Liam Payne had. The more that you look at this situation, it's like I said before, you either trust a hotel or you trust Rogelio Norris. And I think that the hotel secretly played a blinder because they did release footage, yes, that painted them in a bad light, but that the fact that it paints them in such a bad light leads you to believe that there is some accuracy in it. Because law enforcement will likely have their footage. They'll have pulled whatever footage they've got. Like I've said this time and time again, stupid are the people who think that people on TikTok and YouTube know more and have access to more than what law enforcement do. Don't be such a fucking idiot. So when it says on TikTok that cameras have been switched off or, you know, the certain things are happening or not happening, don't take that as gospel because that's likely not that accurate. Yes, we can cover it because it's being said, but take everything with a pinch of salt. Because we now know that there were indeed cameras working, and there was cameras in multiple areas of that place working at certain times. And yes, I know there's going to be some people who decide to say, look, that footage is fake. Footage is fake, and they'll pixel peep the pictures. And I'm telling you now, pixel peeping pictures that are of a very low resolution in the first place isn't going to get you anywhere, because they are incredibly low quality. And by the time you then start pulling them up, doing a screenshot, and then trying to blow that screenshot up, you are severely diminishing the quality of that image. So I'm telling you, if there's a 420p image coming off of a security camera that is then somehow sent to the newspaper, and the newspaper then prints that, and you screenshot it, you're not going to be able to pixel peek that picture. You're not going to be able to pull that apart and see what's accurate in it and what isn't accurate in it. It can't be done unless unless you are sent the image and you're sent the raw image. That's when you can start looking at an image and seeing how that's been pulled apart. But anyway, what I'm saying is, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying that there is nothing else that could have possibly gone on here. But what I'm saying is, you've got Maya Henry, uber rich. You've got Rogelio Norris, wealthy. There could be a connection between these two. They're both people who have been in Liam's life, and that seemingly has coincided with one another. So you've got rich and powerful people around Liam. You've got a partner, a current partner of Liam's, who is saying, look, I loved Liam. Liam loved me. We was going to get married. And there seems to be an issue between Kate and Roger. As second that Kate goes out of the equation, it's literally, while she's on a plane, I said before, she's on a plane, and we're trying to say that Liam is there going, hey, see ya, let's get fucked. And not just let's get fucked, let's get so absolutely smashed to absolute pieces that we are going to get narcotic, we're going to spend time with Brian, we're going to get ladies of the night in, we're going to fucking go mental. And it just doesn't make sense. 2 days before he was due to potentially get his visa stamped and go back home and go into a life with the girl that he loved. Something don't sit right. And to me, you need to be looking at those that are close to him and that had the power and control to be able to access things and do things to push this lad over the fucking edge. Quite literally.